Hello there, and welcome to another video. Well, as you might see, we're in space already for this one. I wanted to show you something particular I've been working on for a little while now. We'll get this Kerbal lights on, shall we? Alright, now we're not really doing anything here. We're just gonna have a little fly around. I would like to show you my project. This here, everyone, this is Brutus. Yes, Brutus is a little project I've been working on. It's essentially the Bastion on steroids. Now, it's been quite an arduous journey getting it into space in several pieces. And I'm just going to run you through what's involved. Okay. Well, this first section that you can sort of see here, the little mother pod in the top there, that is the main fuselage, and this is essentially just a gigantic tank of liquid fuel. Pretty much no oxidizer in this whole section at all. Just liquid fuel. Yes, this is my interplanetary module. It's just big, and I can attach things to it and send them places. Now then, under here, this is my little scavenger. There she is. This is called the RCS scavenger, or I think I just ended up calling it the upgrade, or the RCS upgrade for Brutus, something along those lines there. Alrighty. As you can see, it's a gigantic tank of RCS. There's about 6 of those 750 mass RCS tanks in there. I just realised it was going to need much more RCS for the task at hand. So I built a rocket of just RCS. And I sent it to Brutus. Oh yes. I have a few little fins on it here just so it makes it look cool. Now as you see, we're starting to traverse to the back of Brutus. We're heading underneath. That's the solar array. You can actually extend another one here. Well, I don't while I have the side boosters in position. Alrighty. Let's continue on back a bit. Alright, as you can see here, this is one of my side boosters here. Yes, all of these large pieces here had to be attached by themselves and docked separately. I'm actually quite worried about trying to take off from low curve in orbit with all of the things attached just with docking ports. I probably should have just redesigned it better. That way I could have used the bigger docking ports at least. Anyway. Now we get towards the back of it here, you're going to begin to see the Duna lander module. This is completely untested. Well, it's tested on Kerbin, and of course it can't get into a Kerbin orbit. It doesn't have anywhere near the amount of fuel to mass ratio to do that. But, as we know, Duna requires significant less delta V to get into a low Kerbin orbit. The only way I can really test it is to get there. Oh, shadow of a piece going off in the background there. How cool. Yes, pieces are quite an issue of random debris. Now we're really underneath it now, as you can see. The full scale of Brutus. Yes, we have got the 2 big boosters here. We have got the Duna lander module docked here. And we simply have a stack of RCS docked on us here. And the RCS actually serves a second purpose. As I said, I called it the scavenger, and that is because if we actually zoom out, you'll begin to see there's a bit of debris over there. In fact, there's quite a bit of debris everywhere. Yes, I've built essentially my own system of debris. It started becoming a real issue at one point, but now they're really starting to spread out. But quite a few of them are still, relatively close. I mean, look, that's 500 meters away. All I've been doing is, we get this, we boost over, we dock, we steal the RCS from one of those modules over here, because all of these have RCS in them as well. And then I come back and I just pump it into Brutus, because I was wasting quite a bit of RCS. Alright. Let's head back towards Brutus now. Okay. Start to see the full extent of its size here. Massive wings. It's just absolutely huge. So again, I apologise I'm not really blasting off and blowing anything up. I was attempting to film a bit of the launches to Brutus, but I just really wasn't happy with the way the videos came out, and it was extremely late at night when I was doing it, and I found I didn't have the most to say. Dear God, she's huge. So it's definitely the biggest thing I've ever got into space. I mean, the DSS looks much bigger, I suppose, but you can just clearly tell by the sheer central fuselage here. It is serious business. As I said, it's the Bastion on steroids. The Bastion, fun fact, was originally going to be called Brutus, but right at the last moment I'm like, no, I don't know why Bastion just sounded more powerful for some reason. Now, anyway, this is Brutus instead. And we'll just click on here. Go! And we'll board back in. Alrighty. As you can see, maybe we're just going to do a bit of a time warp, shall we? Get some light onto the ship again. Yeah. Not bad at all. Oh, more stuff flying past. Oh, the stuff is just everywhere. There we go, and light. We have light again. Now I'm thinking I'm going to build one more stage to add to Brutus. As you can see, I have another docking port at the top here, and this is also designed to have the docking port here, so I can continue to attach crafts underneath this way. And of course, I could, attach like a connector thing with just stupidly loaded with docking ports to really make it go nuts. But no, I want to keep this relatively clean. Certainly, only one more thing would be docked, and I'm thinking about building another ship, very, very similar to this one here. Except the difference with that one is it's going to carry just normal fuel and oxidizer. So, as you can see here, this carries no fuel and oxidizer at all. In fact, at this very moment now, this is entirely RCS driven, this separate craft here. It has no oxidizer, it has no rocket at all. But you only need RCS when you're stealing things from around here. So I'm going to build another little thing and dock it to the top here. And then after I do that, I believe I'm going to film me trying to launch this thing. As I said, my biggest concern is the fact that these absolutely ginormous rockets here, they're only attached via docking ports. And I've tried as hard as I can to get them quite straight. If you've ever done docking before, you can imagine it's quite a tricky thing to do. Just when you think you're in position, they bump a little bit. And I think I sort of fluked and lucked out. It was the fourth attempt of me just popping off, moving a bit and coming back in. Anyway, so I'm going to go build a thing, stick it on top of this, and then hopefully make another video a bit later, showing the Bastion actually trying to leave. As you see, it's just Kurt sitting around here. I've tested its movements with the RCS, consumes a lot, but it moves okay, a little bit of a wiggle, so hopefully we can just throttle on with those two side boosters and go out into space. The good thing is as well, these boosters do of course have nuclear engines attached here, which I've turned off, but I can switch it to entirely nuclear mode, and if I do exhaust all the oxidizer completely in here, then we can use just the fuel, of course, then, for the nuclear engines. And if they become completely superfluous at that point, we just undock them and leave them to float into space, or, I don't know, maybe deorbit them. I was going to deorbit all of the stuff, but after, it was just such a nightmare getting everything up here, and there's so many test phases. It was 7 different crafts I had to attempt to get the central fuselage in here. I was trying to not make it ridiculously huge. I just couldn't get it into space. I tried as hard as I could. I eventually went with the approach of just absolutely massive, and that seemed to work. That alone left, I think, 4 or 5 of these things floating around here, and I think it was after one more of these I did the same too. I came to the conclusion, hey, these still have a third to half the fuel in some of them by the time they get up here, rather than just leaving less fuel in them or jettisoning them pointlessly, or start attaching docking ports to them, and hence the idea for this ship came in, even though that was actually just a option when I realised I was quite scared of running out of monopropellant. As you can see, even with that gigantic thing on it, we apparently have consumed 3,000 monopropellant, which is ridiculous. But hopefully this thing here will be able to do some mining and recover stuff, etc, etc. Yeah, that's really all I had to show you here. You can see it holds a fair bit of liquid fuel, 20,000. 21,930, that's where I got the 30 from. And a tiny little ore tank. And that ore tank is of course here if I want to ever refill everything, because I'm hoping I can land on Duna, do a bit of mining, refill it, and take off. Well, anyway, this is Brutus. Do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bit of a short one, nothing really happened. No explosions, unfortunately. There were many explosions building this craft, of course. But, not for today, I'm afraid. As I always say, until next time.